I'm Chef Frank, this is Protocooks, and today we're making Socca. Chef Frank, what is Socca? Well, Socca is something that I had the first time when I was in the south of France with my wife. We were in a town called Nice, and we were at the market, and out comes this almost like large pizza tray of this brown, crunchy looking flatbread that I'd never had before. And basically what it is, it's a chickpea flatbread, or it's kind of like a snack. And we got it and we immediately fell in love with it. Years later, I discovered that they do this in Italy as well. It's called farinata. And it is probably one of the easiest things you're ever gonna make. You just need a few ingredients. You need an oven and a large pan, and you are good to go. So let's make this Socca. The main ingredient for this dish is chickpea flour. You can find it online. I have it in my local supermarket, but this is necessary for this. It's just ground up chickpeas to a fine flour. A couple of things I really love about this is that it is gluten-free. So if you have any friends that are gluten-free or gluten intolerant, it is good for them. There's no wheat in this. I also love it because it's not only easy, it tastes so good with so few ingredients. You'll be shocked on how delicious it is without really doing much, right? It's basically salt and pepper and then these three ingredients, and you have this beautiful, delicious flatbread. All right, so basically all you really have to do is take your flour. I'm gonna use about a cup. I'm making one really big one. So about a cup and a half of your chickpea flour, right? And what I like to do is season it up now, a nice amount of salt, just a little bit of black pepper on now. We'll use black pepper as a garnish later. I'm gonna add my extra virgin olive oil. And what I like to do at this point is just add a little bit of the cold water. It needs to be cold water, okay? You just add a little bit to make a paste. Now, if you add too much water at this point, you're gonna get lots of lumps. So you just get a little bit of the cold water now and make a paste. And once all the lumps are gone, we can add more water to this. But the key to this is to add just a little to start, right? So I have a nice paste with no lumps, and now I can add more of the cold water. And what I'm looking for is kind of like a heavy cream consistency. So let's get in there. I like to use a whisk for this because the whisk will break up any lumps. Yeah, look at that. Right, it's nice and smooth. Just a little more water, just a touch. Once I have this nice and smooth, I'm gonna set it aside and set up our pan. So I have a paella pan here, and this is the pan that I find is the easiest one to use. When we were in Nice, they had these big kind of pizza trays. The things were really giant, and they cooked them in a pizza oven. So I preheated my oven to about 425. I have my paella pan, and I added some extra virgin olive oil to the pan. We were about a kind of a medium-high heat, right? Swirl this around. Make sure your oven is preheated. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Get that oil in there, right? And then all you really have to do is add the batter. I add it to the center, all the batter at once. This is a very thin pancake. It shouldn't be too thick. I find if it's too thick, a lot of times it's like a little too cakey, and it doesn't really, it just kind of takes a little longer to cook, and it's not as delicious. So I have it on medium-high heat. Spread it around, right? You want to hear that little sizzle. And what I'm going to do now is go right into the oven at 425. I have my pizza stone in there, and we're going to let it cook until it gets nice and crisp. At least a little brown on top. All right, there is the finished Socca. Look at that. It's a little brown on top. It's brown around the edges. I'm gonna just garnish with a little black pepper. This is how they did it. Little black pepper. I like to add a little more olive oil. A little more olive oil on top. But look at it, it's beautiful. I think we can serve it up and give it a taste. Now's my favorite time to taste. When I had this in the south of France, it was a little darker on top. They had a pizza oven there, like it was wood fired, so it was a little more crackly on top. I had it in the oven at about 425, and then I put it under the broiler. So we cooked it for about 5 minutes at 425, and then under the broiler for about 5 minutes. But from what I remember, it was a little more crackly on top, but you know what? I don't have a pizza oven here, so let's give it a taste. So from what I remember is that they would cut it in kind of just like chunks, put it into a paper cone, black pepper, maybe a little sprinkle of salt on top, and you kind of walked around and ate it as a snack. So let's give it a try. It's a little crispy on the outside. What I love about this is that, first of all, it doesn't take any time to cook. It takes basically 10 minutes in the oven. It takes maybe 3 to 4 minutes to put together. And it's a really nice savory snack. It's crispy, it's nutty, it's packed with protein, so it's healthy as well. And you know what? Quick snack, no gluten. If you have gluten-free friends, great quick snack for them. You gotta try this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We have merch in the description down below. Need salt. The recipe for this is also in the description. The recipe is always in the description. I want to thank my Patreon patrons for supporting us. Thank you so much. Thanks for your help. And that is my Socca. I'm Chef Frank. This is Protocooks. Bonjour. You like that?